A lot of times what's stopping us from realizing our full potential isn't necessarily a drastic change that needs to take place, but instead they are small changes. These are areas of our lives that tend to go neglected, that are overlooked, that most people don't talk about. And in reality, if we can spend a little bit more attention, effort, and energy in these areas of our life on a regular basis, we can actually establish a very strong foundation for ourselves that will contribute to our success, but also allow us to have the longevity that we're looking for. And these 5 changes that I'll be speaking about within this video, I really do believe can be immediately adopted for yourselves, and hopefully you'll be able to reap the transformative benefits that I've been able to reap as well. My name is Jun Yu. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I believe in the era that we're in, the digital era, we're constantly fed so much information at every single second. Sometimes that means that we get lost in the fold and we lose sight of the fundamentals. And what I like to do on this channel is hopefully be able to shine light on some of those areas in our lives that actually have meaning to us. And then if we're able to, again, establish that foundation, we're able to go ahead and have a lot of success in our lives, but also have success in areas that really matter to us and not just put onto us as expectations by society and then we're just taught to run with it, right? And so with all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 1, embrace learning. This is a funny topic because I just recently had a conversation with my friend about this yesterday, and it's an ongoing joke between him and I because a little bit of context about me, I come from an immigrant background that struggled a lot financially, and I was trained, I was programmed in this brain of mine to save money where I can. In every capacity, right? But now that I've had successes with my businesses, I can afford the coffee, I can afford to go out to eat, and I can afford to pay for my friend when we go out. Of course, I'll do that, but when we are thinking about what we should go out and eat and stuff, I'll be like, oh, maybe we should go out to eat McDonald's, or maybe we should go out to Chick-fil-A, something that's a little bit more affordable. He's like, June, you can afford these things. And yesterday he was like, but if this was a few $1,000 course, June would have no problem investing in it, right? And I cracked up at that because in reality of the matter, he's right? Like, I've spent hundreds of dollars on books. I've spent a lot of money on anything that will improve upon my education. I've never hesitated about that. Even when I wasn't necessarily in a point in which I could afford a lot more like I am able to today, I still would love to invest on anything that could improve upon my brain, that can improve upon my horizon, because that's what it does, right? What's stopping me from reaching the life that I want to live is learning about it, right? Even with content creation, I've wanted to be a content creator, but I always thought that was not in my possibility. But what did I have to do when I started to learn about it, when I started to actually get myself involved with whatever course or whatever I could ask somebody that was doing it, right? Whatever mentorship that I could hopefully get involved with, all of that helps. And of course, you need your own ability to actually apply yourself, but I had that part and I need the educational side of it. And now you fast forward 4 years of doing this, and I have the coolest opportunity with social media, with this incredible, beautiful community that I have, right? And I'm so thankful of it each day. But what allowed me to do that? I was somebody that never even posted on Instagram in high school, and now I'm somebody that posts every single day for the last 4 to 5 years. So learning is what allows you to do that, and whatever experience that you can get involved with, and you can embrace that learning and prioritize it over the immediate consequence, it's more than worth it. Even when I was in my first 2 years, I would go around different labs in biomedical engineering with the professors here, and I would spend my time and energy doing work for them, but even that gave me some experience and some insights, and I was able to leverage those experiences for some other opportunities as I progressed in college. So if you can start to embrace learning, I really do believe that it opens up the possibilities for yourself, and I believe that you will have immediate opportunities, but if you're able to do this in the long run, it can really expand what's possible for yourself in your career, in your relationships, in your day-to-day lifestyle, and that will be number 1. Number 2, fix your diet. And I don't just mean the foods that you consume for your stomach, but I also mean the thoughts and the beliefs that you provide to your mind, right, and your soul. In our era today, in the digital era, we're constantly fed information digitally through content. And it's so important that we're ensuring there's some sort of filtration process happening with whatever we're allowing our minds to see on a regular basis, right? And if you are somebody that's going to challenge me on this point, I will be firm on it. I really do believe music has an impact on you. If you are listening to a certain type of music every single day and you're listening to it for many hours each day, I truly believe that's intimate to you and it will influence how you think, at least to a small extent, right? But also the movies that you watch, also the shows that you consume, also the creators that you follow, also what books you tend to read. There's content that we're constantly consuming, and it's important that we're a little bit more cognizant of what type of content we actually allow our minds to soak up, right? And I think about our minds as an open sponge, right? A new sponge. And when you put information in it, you start to soak it up until there's not enough space for the good type of content. So if you aren't necessarily being cautious of what it is that you are putting into your mind, sometimes there isn't even room for you to put in positive things, right? You're already so filled up with so much anxiety and overwhelming emotion because you weren't cognizant of it to start. So hopefully that's a change that you will take seriously. And it's something that you can literally pause this video and do right now. If you go through your following, just ask yourself, why are you following this individual, right? Genuinely, why? Are you following a creator because everyone else follows them, or do they actually provide value to you? Are you following some sort of childhood person that never actually liked you and you never actually liked them, and every time their post comes up you don't like it? Don't follow them anymore, right? Also, if you're not aware of this, all of our social media apps in terms of TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, they're all going to be predicated around how much you're watching it, right? So the algorithm will push content that you engage longer with. And so when you are scrolling through and you see some negative content, because we know the negative content does well on social media and it might have some sort of enticing hook to bring you in, and then you find yourself watching it for a few seconds, you're like, yeah, actually, this ain't for me. I don't like it. Instead of just swiping away from it, just hold down the three buttons or hold down the screen and write not interested, and ensure that you don't see posts from that creator anymore or see posts from that sound anymore, because that matters. And you can start to train your algorithm so that social media can actually be an educational tool for you or an entertainment tool for you that's not going to be detrimental. Number 3, overcoming hesitation. And this is both on the micro and macro scales. On a day-to-day basis, we're exposed to thousands of decisions, most of them subconscious, but all of them require cognitive effort. And what happens in those decision-making processes is your mind and your body go into war, right? Go into battle. Your mind knows what it needs to do. Your mind knows that, June, you got to go to the gym. Your body wants to stay where it's at. Your body's like, yeah, I'm good here. I'm comfortable in this cozy bed. And if you give it enough time, your body usually wins out and you'll stay where you are. And that's why a lot of us tend to skip our workouts, etc. And so on the micro level, you're able to use techniques like the 3-2-1 method or the 5-minute rule, and both in which reduce the initial friction point and make it a lot easier for you to get on to that next task. And we talked about those heavily in my past videos, so I won't necessarily harp on those, but that's the micro level. But on a macro level, it's really about how are you able to make these larger goals of yourselves more feasible, more practical, actual steps that you can take on a day-to-day basis, on an hourly basis. So all of it is about reverse engineering your larger goals into micro goals. And in doing that, you're actually able to take steps forward. And when you can achieve something a little bit more feasible for yourself, it's going to do 2 things for yourself, right? Number 1, it's going to establish a level of confidence because you've proven to yourself you can stick to your promises long after the emotion in which you originally set those promises. And then number 2, it's going to build positive momentum. So what you want to have is this ability to just go, right? Just do it. If you have a decision that you want to make, you have to be able to train your mind to be able to say, let's go, let's do it. Let's do it in this moment. Let's do it. I'm not going to even second guess it. I know it's going to be challenging, but let's do it. On both levels, on the micro and macro levels, it's going to take time for you to adopt this change, but really on the micro side, I think you'll be able to see the benefits of those changes relatively quickly. Number 4, do less better. I have seen a lot of people say, hey, you should say yes more often, right? Like you should be more open to opportunities. And I do believe that there's great value in that for a lot of people, but also ensure that you know how to say no, because I was the worst people pleaser ever. I am so guilty of having that type of mental framework for a large portion of my life. And it comes from a lot of insecurity. But recently, when I was going through the personal development in the last 5-7 years, I've been able to really get good at saying no, because saying no is a deeper yes to the things that you actually want in life, right? And I've really understood that I am very capable. I'm somebody that's in the prime of my life, right? I'm somebody that's 23 years old. I always have to second guess how old I am because that's crazy that I'm 23 years old right now. But if I'm 23 years old, turning 24 this year, and I have the energy, right? I've been able to work on my body to the point in which I have the endurance to go through difficult occurrences, right? Physically, I've been able to train my mind so I'm strong. I have the tangibles and intangibles to do a lot of these difficult things in my life right now. And I think that I should do them. Like, I think I should use this time because I don't have a child, right? I don't have a family. I don't have to pay expensive bills at this current moment of my life. I have the opportunity, this freedom to do a lot of cool things that can build my future. So why not? Why not invest my time and energy in those areas? And I've done that. But it took a lot of prioritization to be able to do that, right? I had to sacrifice some things that weren't necessarily important to me. I had to do less. And because I was able to prioritize them, right? Like, I was able to say, you know what? I don't want to party anymore. Like, I don't need to go out on the weekends. I don't necessarily always have to be in that type of environment anymore. And I'm good with that. Like, I'm good with sacrificing in that. In turn, I'm able to focus on less things that are more important to me, but I can really pour my energy and effort into those things. And you do that for 4 or 5 years, you're gonna have a lot of success. And I've been able to do that, right? Like, I've seen the actual benefits of that. So if you're somebody that is in my shoes, well, would have been in my shoes 4 or 5 years ago, where I was second guessing my choices, right? I was like, oh, is this actually the right thing to do? Should I just go out with all of them? Am I the weird one? Like, should I be listening to the judgment of other people? I'm telling you right now, no, you're doing the right thing. You have the right perspective. Trust me, your sacrifices will dictate your future. And if you can look at yourself right now and say, I'm going to do less better, I'm going to actually put my time and energy into these areas of my life because I have made decisions that I was fully aware of. Like, I knew the intention behind these decisions. Your effort and your energy in those few areas of your life, they will drastically change when you're able to stack up these wins over the next several years for yourself. So I hope that you can adopt that change. Do less and do it better. Be able to learn how to say no more often. And number 5, practice gratitude. And this is a change that I want you to adopt immediately right now. Literally pause this video and ask yourself, what are you grateful for? And although that might sound trivial in the moment, and maybe your first answers are going to be a little bit superficial, when you can get in the practice of adopting this type of mental framework throughout life, it makes everything better. Right? The one compliment that I get all the time is, June, you are very positive. You have great energy about yourself. And I attribute a lot of that to my ability to practice gratitude on a regular basis. Gratitude for the things that I already have, not gratitude for the things that I wish that I had, right? Truly, like gratitude for, in this moment, what am I thankful for? And when you can start practicing that, what is it going to do? It's going to completely change your perspective. A lot of times when hardships happen in our lives, even when I'm going through a really tough project, right? And I'm spending so much time and energy and it can be exhausting. If I'm just fixating on that, what happens? It makes that hardship even larger than it needs to be. It completely consumes my life. And then I take a step outside and I walk outside to class and I see people. I'm like, huh, wow, life isn't so bad. You know, people are smiling, people are hanging out with their friends, people are able to walk their dogs outside, people are eating their meals outside. Oh, life isn't all that bad, right? Like, you're able to connect to more. You're able to open your eyes to the fact that, yes, you're going through a lot of hard things, but there's definitely more, and you can be grateful for those things. And I'm not trying to be somebody that's telling you, oh, you're going through a hard time, just be grateful. Trust me, like, I get it. I get it when it's really, really hard, right? My parents went through a nasty, nasty divorce, and I went from having my mom as my best friend to losing her overnight, not having any type of conversation with her for 7 years straight, right? Like, I've gone through the process of having my family go through a lot of mental health issues, my dad going through mental health issues, my mom going through mental health issues, going through a new marriage in the family, having to go through my grandmother suffering from dementia. Like, all of those things were really, really difficult, and all of them were in close proximity to each other. So I understand it gets hard, and mentally it's really, really tough on yourself. And I don't mean to sound trivial about this at all and say, hey, like, that's not important. No, those are important. You should be able to take your time to process those emotions. It's not what I mean. I really do mean that it's one thing to process those emotions, but it's also important to ensure that you have the ability to make progress out of that. to be able to connect to the bigger picture in your life a little bit more, to be able to, even in the midst of the hardships, be grateful for the things that you still do have. And I think that's powerful, and it's one that has definitely made a big change in my life. And I really do believe that you will be able to reap the benefits of these changes relatively quickly, but the longer you're able to adopt them for, they become true foundations, right? They become a complete rewiring of your brain. They become different lenses in which you can look at life in every aspect of your life in immediately. And that's when you can have all the depths of those benefits. But I hope that this video was helpful in terms of shining light on areas that might go overlooked that I do believe has had a tremendous benefit for myself, right? And again, it's not always the drastic changes in our lives that we got to look to, but it's the small areas of our life that tend to get neglected that if we can put attention, effort towards on a regular basis, I really do believe that's the right way to go about it a lot of times, okay? With that all being said, if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, and I love having those conversations with you. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. Until next time, I hope that you guys take care of yourselves. I love you guys, and I'll see you all at the top.